I'm part of this IIT Madras entrepreneurs group on WhatsApp, and every time someone who has a startup raises some money, everyone else has an orgasm.
And I choose rich every fucking time.
I love this group. Anyway, this story is not about raising money and orgasms. This story is about something which someone shared on this group. She eventually deleted the post where she shared the shock, but the story went viral. And how did that happen, right? I mean, 2 million followers. So even if 1 in 10,000 choose to buy a t-shirt, do the maths. If your maths is good enough, that number is 200 t-shirts. 1 in 10,000. Of course, this calculation is kind of not proper because not everyone who follows you actually gets to see your post. All of us who are on Instagram know that. So how do we figure out if you have 2 million followers, how many people actually get to see a post when you put a post out there? So let's talk about Priyanka Chopra, right? Priyanka Chopra is the most famous right now Indian Instagram celebrity. I mean, is she half Indian now? Let me not troll Priyanka Chopra. Salman Khan already did that a lot while promoting that fuck all movie Bharat.
She's worked all her life so hard, okay? And when she got the biggest film of her life, she dumped that film and she got married. You know, hats off.
I hope you have seen my plot narration / review of Bharat movie. Coming back to Priyanka Chopra's Instagram. When I looked at her profile, I realized that out of 100 people who follow her, she gets about 2 to 3 likes, which I think is kind of odd because why would you follow Priyanka Chopra and not like every single post of hers? Unless, of course, she posts a picture like this. My calculation is at least 20 people who get to see that post out of 100 which PC puts should kind of like it. So given that the number is 2 to 3%, that means mostly around 10% of your actual followers get to see what you post. This Instagrammer Ari, even if only 10% of her 2 million followers looking at it, which is like 2 lakh people saw that post, to not be able to sell 36 t-shirts.
इतना गलत कैसे हो सकता है भाई?
You could probably just put your tatti inside a dabba and just package it fancily, and I mean, there are a lot of theories, a lot of analysis why it didn't work and all of that, but that post doesn't exist. I don't know what the t-shirts were priced at and stuff like that. I don't want to go into why she couldn't do it, but I want to raise another question that again was part of this group conversation.
I'm here to say that the influencer bubble is about to burst.
So can we use this one-off example of Ari not being able to sell 36 t-shirts in spite of having 2 million followers and say there's a social media bubble and that's going to burst? And that's what I'm going to explore. I have like 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if 1 in 10,000 people choose to buy what I want to sell, would I be able to sell 2 t-shirts? Would I be able to sell my tatti inside the... I don't know. Would you buy t-shirt / tatti?
Thank you.
By the way, it sucks that in the list of social media platforms which are most lucrative to influencers to make money, YouTube is at like number 6. Instagram is biggest, then it is followed by Facebook, which is followed by Twitter, which is followed by LinkedIn. I mean, that's So first of all, the whole logic of linking the 2 million follower 36 t-shirt story to social media influencer market is wrong, because that is not what most social media influencers do, right? Social media influencers sell other people's products. Very few people have reached that level where they actually, promote their own stuff and sell their own stuff. So using that example to comment on the social media influencer market itself is wrong. But given that a lot of videos exist which are talking about this bubble being bursting, let us explore this case on its own. So how do you define a bubble, right?
There was an earlier word called windhandel in Dutch, wind trade, and it's kind of a bubbly sounding word. The bubble means some speculative asset prices that is filled with air and is incorrect.
A bubble gets created when something is overvalued by the world compared to its actual true value. And that applies to a dot-com bubble when it happened, that applies to a stock market bubble. Anything can have a bubble, and there are reasons why bubbles happen. But coming back to social media influencers, what do we mean when we say a bubble?
Bubble.
Are we saying that social media influencers in general are getting paid way more than they truly deserve? Now, this is an interesting statistics I found for at least the Indian social media scenario. 50% of those who were interviewed for a survey said that they don't pay anything to social media influencers. I mean, no money. They give products or experiences. So, man, if you're not getting paid already, where is this bubble coming from? And of course, there are people getting paid, right? So I looked up at, in general, worldwide, the social media influencers who get paid the most. Top 3 social media influencers: Kylie Jenner, Selena Gomez, and Ronaldo. Now, they have a follower in the range of 140 to 170 million, and they get paid in the range of $70,000 to $1 million US per post. I mean, all of this sounds like a lot of money. I mean, I'm not taking any of that away. And using this data, when I apply to the Indian social media influencers, who are the ones who top it up, right? Priyanka Chopra, Deepika Padukone, Virat Kohli. They are overall around 1/5 of the followers that the international Instagram toppers demand. And plus, if most of your followers are in US, you are going to get paid a lot more money. Doing all of that, I kind of estimated that at an Indian Deepika Padukone kind of level, you could probably expect around 10 lakh rupees for one Instagram post. If you go to Deepika Padukone's Instagram profile, you realize that it's not like she's putting one offbeat post of some random stuff. If it's a sponsored post, it typically is part of a bigger campaign where there's a TV commercial, where there's something else on YouTube, something on Instagram, and those deals would be a couple of crores because it's so obvious that it's a long-term commitment. And these celebrities would exist with or without Instagram. They don't need social media as such, but because social media is there, it's an extension of their outreach. So would this kind of bubble burst? Would Deepika Padukone start getting paid a lot less after 2-3 years? I really doubt that, right? So who are these influencers who are actually getting paid a lot, right? We saw that half of them don't get paid, and then there's this super celebrity influencers who get paid a lot. So there is the bracket below the celebs. So I did a research about how much are they getting paid right now, because only if they're getting paid a shitload of money, which is way higher than what they should probably be getting, we can talk about a bubble. I'm talking about India, right? So we have Soumya Gupta, who has 5 lakh followers, 500,000 on Insta, and she earns around 2 lakh rupees per month. And at a slightly better performance is this fashion blogger Ashna Shroff.
So I would say maybe between 5 to 8, 10 lakhs a month.
If you post a lot of posts, not all of it would be sponsored. So let's say in a month you put 10 posts, and with that calculation, you're basically getting paid around 50,000 bucks to 1 lakh rupees for a single post. Is that high? Let's say it's high, right? Let's say that at max she deserves to get paid 20,000 rupees per post. Would that mean once that price correction happens in the year or two, the bubble will burst? I just think that looking at a specific individual who gets paid a lot of money, which is not insane, right? You're getting 1 lakh for a post, maybe you deserve 20,000 bucks. Fine, that correction will happen. Ashna Shroff might start getting less, and there are other influencers who are probably not getting anything right now, might start getting a little more money. That still doesn't mean any bubble is going to burst, because the fact is, the overall total money that goes into the market is still very less. Like data says that most of these marketers spend only like 2 to 7% of their marketing budget on giving it to social media influencers. And all of these surveyed, 70% of them who were surveyed said that they all want to increase that budget. That means the total amount of money available for this kind of marketing is going to go up. And the reason why this market is going to grow, why the marketers want to spend more money on social media influencers, is at the core what it always was, right? 5 years back, only 20% of all the phones were smartphones in India. Today, 40% of all the phones that people buy in India are smartphones, and you know that number is only going to go up. And all these people with this geo collection, all of that, of course they watch TV serials on phone, they watch movies on phone, but they also look at these other independent creators. And at some level, the relative trust that people who kind of consume content from social media influencers is still there. We don't trust the ads. We know that Shah Rukh Khan doesn't drive a Hyundai. Even the guys who made these videos talking about bubble is going to burst are basically saying that the way the companies and the brands approach influencers, figure out which kind of influencers they should tie up with, the metrics that they look to analyze how popular an influencer really is, which goes beyond just the followers, like the engagement, how have they grown, what kind of brands they talk about even without being paid, etc, etc. And then there is this new theory called, instead of focusing on one influencer as a brand, you kind of find out a lot of different influencers who together, when they talk about your brand, then you get much more benefit. And all of these will happen, and this will make the whole market much better. If you have a genuine content, if you tell stories, you have a personality, and you are taking it slow, you are going to actually benefit from this. And my offer to sell those 2 t-shirts still holds, man. Would you buy 2 t-shirts from me? Let me know. Hi, this is Amrit, your creative, funny, insightful storyteller. I make a lot of videos, I vlog about my life, I make short documentary films, 3-minute stories. Companies, non-profits, startups, schools, universities, they hire me to tell their stories or the stories of those they impact so that they can sell more, raise funds, attract people to work for them. And then there's the second type of stories where I go find amazing individuals doing amazing things, and they don't hire me as such, but I tell their stories because their stories deserve to be told. In fact, you can help me fund those stories at patreon.com/Vatsa. I come from an IIT business consulting background, but after a few years of corporate job, took a break to become a wedding photographer. I still shoot at weddings across India. There is something beautiful about creating art from weddings. There is something beautiful about creating art from anything.